for holding on. ABC News political correspondent. Good morning, Trey Harden.
Good morning, McGraw. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. What's going on with this ISIS thing? We're so caught up with this Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice thing and everything going on. We're really worried about the end of the world over there.
I was going to say, has sports and the NFL really taken over as the top issue in this country? Well, clearly there's a major threat over there, and Hillary and bullet out of the to be critical of how he's handling the foreign affairs over there, because he can say they voted for it as well.
Yeah. We're already, and what's interesting is we're bombing or have bombed Iraq, and successfully we've bombed ISIS sort of back off of Iraq, right? I mean, it really hasn't gotten a whole lot of news.
No, we have. I mean, listen, President Bush and President Obama have certainly, they both deserve a certain amount of credit, although frankly it's also our military, I think, that deserves the most credit in intelligence communities, for going after the bad guys. That doesn't necessarily get reported in the news that much, that's either done very quietly or covertly, or it's just done so regularly that it's not, it is not necessarily breaking news. So, that is ongoing, and it's another reason why President Obama does not need to go to Congress and is doing it for political gain. We are there. We are engaged. Our planes are flying over there every day, looking for opportunities and looking for targets, as we should be. And I think that has bipartisan support. I think the Republicans in Congress have made it clear he doesn't need to come to Congress, that they'll support him. They just want him to communicate with them and keep them updated. But it's interesting, the Republicans are now calling his bluff a little bit, because if he's going to come to Congress for authorization, they're now going to put some strings on it and say, okay, well then you're going to have to give us a report every 90 days and show us your progress. So interesting politics as usual.
Yeah. Did you see where Tom Harkin was asked if he's supporting Hillary, and all of a sudden his earpiece didn't work?
Yes, I did. How convenient. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. I mean, I've advised candidates to do that many times, or politicians to do that in debates or in interviews. All of a sudden, like, oh, I've lost my earpiece here. That's on page like 34 of media relations.
That is really funny. All right, so Hillary's running, right? I mean, she's already out smoozing in Iowa, right? She's running.
Oh, I mean, I don't think there's ever been any question. I don't think there is a question, and there will not be a question. I mean, I think she's all in. I think she's very, very smart and is being very strategic about controlling the narrative, if you will, on when the actual news comes out, and when it's completely official. I think that, she's smart in that, because we all know when you're running for office, the worst thing you can do is peak too early. And
right.
I think that she's monitoring that. She's certainly been through many wars politically. That peaking element.
What about Jeb Bush? What are you hearing? What are the Bushes saying about Jeb?
Yeah, great question. That he's handling that well too, that he's staying kind of below the radar screen, which is where he wants it. I think that if he jumps in, he wants to do it on his own terms. I think he wants to see a path that doesn't have him getting scarred by the Tea Party and the far right. I still think he's analyzing that. I think he knows he's the guy if he wants to do it. There's not a lot of other talent out there, and I don't think there's a lot of money out there for candidates other than him, and he knows that. So I think he's not in any rush to announce, and we wouldn't see anything until sometime early next year.
Do you think he runs?
I think at the end of the day, he does. I think that there's going to be too big a calling for him because I don't think that there's any other solution in the Republican Party right now.
That is really interesting. We'll pick it up next time. Trey, be safe. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Trey Harden, ABC News political analyst here every Tuesday.